Hello everyone, Matt here. Thank you for checking out our orientation video. You may have missed our orientation earlier this morning, or you might have wanted to review the information, and that is what has brought you to the video. But either way, I'm very happy to have you here. I'm very happy to welcome you to King Open. Very excited to welcome you to K3, and we're just going to go through the presentation all together. After the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to email Annie or myself, and I will answer any questions you may have. All right, let's get started. I am using a program that is going to allow you to watch the presentation, and I'm just going to minimize my screen, but you should still be able to hear me. I'll put it down there, hide myself in the corner, and get started. So as I said, welcome to King Open School. We're very excited to have your family with us this year. Many of you, it's your first time or experience at King Open, so we're very excited that you chose King Open to launch the educational career of your child. We take that very seriously, and we are looking forward to a wonderful year together. So this, as I said, is our orientation video for K3, which is the name of our classroom. Our room number is 1450, but we will go by K3. So a lot of my addresses will be Dear K3 Families, Dear K3 Kids, that type of thing. I'm actually recording this the evening of the 8th, but this is the exact presentation that will be given tomorrow on the 9th at 10 a.m. So as I said, welcome to King Open in K3. There are two adults that are going to be taking care of your children this year. My name is Matt, and I am the classroom teacher, and Annie Fox is the classroom paraprofessional. But she's really like a co-teacher. We do everything together, and the kids just really always adore Annie. So I'm so happy to be working with her for the 9th year now. We have quite the partnership going, so it's kind of nice to work with someone that you're on the same page with. During this presentation, we're going to discuss arrival, dismissal, lunch, schedule, COVID protocols, and more. I know this is a video you're watching, but if you do have questions, feel free to email me after you watch it. To begin school, you have a lot of paperwork. I always feel bad for the families. I know you're inundated with paperwork and information. The good thing is that Cambridge has moved toward allowing families to fill out a lot of these things online. So you can do that by clicking on this link. I'm going to send this presentation to everyone, and you can click on that link that says emergency forms with updated phone numbers and emails, and that will bring you to the family portal where you can access all of these things. In the family portal, you will be asked to fill out a media release form. In a little while, I'm going to be sending you a class Dojo form to fill out, so just be on the lookout for that. In the family portal, you are also going to be asked to fill out the COVID consent form. That's the COVID testing consent form. Any medical forms your child may need to begin the school year, and bus tags if applicable. Now, Annie has already created them, so if your child is riding the bus, we have made the bus tag, and we will put it onto your child's backpack the first day of school, so you don't need to worry about that. Arrival. This is our second year with COVID protocol, so we are going to be having each class at a different door, or a group of classes at a different door. Our classroom door and our dismissal door is door 27. Door 27. This is the only door that Annie and I will be picking kids up at and dropping them off at the end of the day. As you can see, it is numbered. The photo on the very right shows a little map of the area. Let me walk you through it because I know it's confusing, especially if you don't know the building. So our school is located on Cambridge Street. Cambridge Street is the front of the building. The door that your child will be going in, door 27, is in the back of the building. The back of the building. So if you walk around the back, drive around the back, you will see some playgrounds. You will see a basketball court. To the one end, you'll see the pools. We are in the back of the building. What you have to do is you can come from either Willow Street or Berkshire Street and walk into the field area, and you'll see door 27 is pushed a little bit back from there. It's kind of right by this glass connector that connects the two parts of the building. So when you are dropping your child off, that's the door you're going to want to look for, door 27. When you arrive, please line up in a socially distanced way. We are sharing our door with one other class, with K4 or room 1460. So you will see another group of kids and parents out there too. So just try to take whatever space you need to feel comfortable as you line up. Please say goodbye to your child outside. This is going to be a tough one for some of you, I know, but due to COVID protocols, families are not allowed in the building right now, even for drop off, even for a second, even to take a look at the room. Unfortunately, every goodbye will have to be done at the door. This could be really big for kids. It's a big moment to begin junior kindergarten. It may be their first time away from you. There might be a lot of emotion. So we always say you might want to think about creating a goodbye routine. An example of that is a few years ago, Annie and I had a child who was really sad at every drop off. And so the parents had a routine. They would give 10 kisses and 10 high fives, and that would be what they would do every morning to kind of send the kid off. Another thing you might want to do is just to talk to your child about it. We call this previewing. So when you're preview with your child, you might say, I'm going to give you a big hug. I'm going to give you a kiss. I'm going to watch you walk through the door with Matt and your new friends, and I'm going to wave goodbye. So kind of preview what that might look like with them so they have an easier time with the transition. Because unfortunately, even if your child is really upset, you won't be allowed to accompany them into the building. So our doors open at 8:40 a.m. You are welcome to line up a little bit earlier than that. We won't open them though until 8:40 a.m. So between 8:40 a.m. and 8:55 a.m., door 27 is where you will drop off your kid. This is the drop-off time, 8:40 to 8:55 a.m. There are some occasions where you might be late, and that's completely okay. But if you are arriving later than 8:55 a.m., you cannot use door 27 because the school day has already begun. If arriving after 8:55 a.m., please go to door 1, which is the front entrance of the school. That is on Cambridge Street. So that is if you arrive late, which is after 8:55 a.m. And we say that because attendance is actually taken at 8:55 a.m. Annie and I are already putting it into the computer and sending it to the office. So that is arrival. If your child is taking a bus to school, they are going to be dropped off on Cambridge Street, and teachers are going to greet them. So they're going to be escorted 100% right from the bus straight into the school and dropped off in the classroom. And that is for children that are taking the bus. And we have 5 of them this year. So those 5 children would be escorted right from the bus. They'd come in, they'd wash their hands, and be taken right to the classroom to join Annie and I and the kids that are dropped off. So that is the arrival procedure. Breakfast is free for all students. Unlike lunch, breakfast is usually just one option. So it might be pancakes one morning, or bagel and cream cheese, pumpkin bread. I'm trying to think of some of the other things we have, but it's usually just one thing for breakfast rather than a choice. And we're going to serve breakfast in the classroom from 8:40 to 8:55 a.m. If you would like your child to eat, try to get them there a little bit earlier just so they have a little bit longer time. Of course, Annie and I will let them finish their breakfast, but it'll be a little bit easier if kids are getting there earlier to finish their breakfast during that 8:40 to 8:55 a.m. time. Again, breakfast will be done in the classroom, and it's completely free for any child who would like some. Breakfast, lunch, and snack. Breakfast, as I already mentioned, will be free this year, but lunch will also be free this year to any child who wants them. Please send in 2 healthy snacks each day with your child. We will have a morning and an afternoon snack in the classroom. This year, students will eat breakfast and lunch in the classroom, so all of our eating will be done in the classroom. There are other grade levels that may be in the cafeteria, but we are keeping it small since we are going to have our masks off and we're just going to be in the classroom while the children are eating. Lunch orders will be taken in the morning. So when your child comes in, Annie and I will ask them what they would like to eat for lunch. We usually show a visual too so they can see what it will look like. And then we put that order for them. And at 11 o'clock, the food is delivered into the classroom, and that's where we will eat. For the snack, we just ask no candy for snacks. Try to veer towards something a little bit more healthy. This year, we don't have any allergies in our classroom as of yet. I will let you know if that were to change, but right now, none of the families are reporting allergies. So that is breakfast, lunch, and snack. All will be in the classroom. Breakfast and snack will be free. Or I'm sorry, breakfast and lunch will be free. And you have to send in 2 snacks a day for your child. 2 snacks a day. We have one in the morning and one in the afternoon. A family had already asked Annie and I yesterday if they can kind of switch. Maybe one day bring a lunch from home, maybe the next day go to school lunch. And you can absolutely do that. Annie and I will help the kids hang up their backpack. If we notice a lunchbox, we know that is their lunch. If we notice a lunchbox is missing one day, we'll be sure to have them order food. But breakfast and lunch will be free and in the classroom. Dismissal, we are going to be right back at that door 27 again at 2:55 p.m. 2:55 p.m. is when school ends. We will send your child out to you. So we'll walk them right to the door. And then as I see you, I will call them up. For an example, I'd say, Matt, your father's here. And then we'd always give you a wave as you pick them up. But we're going to walk them right to the door and make sure that they see you, you see them, we see each other to know everyone got out okay. At 3:05 p.m., any child that's still not picked up will be taken to the lobby, and that's right by door 1. And that's if a parent's running late, another teacher will be waiting for them. So that's kind of like the late door in the afternoon, back to door 1, just as it is in the morning. So if you're running late, that's where your child will be. Buses, children will be escorted to and from the buses. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation on arrival, that bus kids will be walked from the bus straight to the classroom. Likewise, in the afternoon, someone is going to come directly to the classroom, pick up the children, take the bus attendants, and walk them straight to the bus and watch them get on. So there will be an adult the entire process, and that's how buses will be run. It's important to remember if your child is riding the bus to keep their yellow bus tag on, which Annie has created for them. We have an after-school program called Extended Day. If your child is attending Extended Day, they will be picked up right from the classroom and escorted to their after-school classroom, which is on the 3rd floor. So it's all in the same building. So the after-school teacher will come down around 2:40 and pick up the kid right from K3 and take them up to the after-school classroom, and they will begin their Extended Day program. If there is any change in your child's daily dismissal plan, you must call or email, message me or Annie and let us know. This is especially true for different adults that may be picking up your child. Unless they're on your pickup form, we need your permission if anyone else were to show up. Even if the child knows the person, loves the person, we cannot release your child to any adult unless you let us know ahead of time. If by chance you forget, we will call, try to make contact with you, but we won't be letting any children go with people that are not approved by you. So please remember to notify us. Call the school. You can call Brenda or email her. She's the school clerk. Her email address is right there at the bottom. And let us know if there's a pickup change for dismissal. Bus travel. If your child is taking the bus, please send your child in with their bus tag every day. We will also send them home with an extra one for you to fill out and keep home in case it rips. This is what a bus tag looks like. It's one that Annie created today for one of our kiddos that are taking the bus. You will see the initials on the back, our classroom. The buses each have a name. So in this case, it's the Rainbow Bus. And then on the front, you will see what bus stop your child is getting off or picked up on. So in this case, it's the Rainbow Bus at Ringe Towers for AM and PM. You might notice that on the bus tag, you'll see school name, teacher name and number, room number. So that's my name in K3, room 1450. One thing we left blank was the emergency number. So that is right next to my name to the left of it, underneath where Annie wrote King Open. And we need you to write whatever emergency number you would like on that. An emergency number is used for if a child is getting off the bus and the bus driver, bus monitor notices you're not there to pick them up. They're not going to drop them off. They will call that number to find out, where you are. So please fill that out. As I said, bus students will be escorted to the bus by a staff member at 2:35. Bus students will continue to take the bus home on half days. So if we get out early, it's still the plan is the bus for them. And just a reminder, masks must be worn on buses. Communication, the best way to get in touch with Annie or I are through email because that's what we check the most frequently. We have a phone in the classroom which you could call, but the way they set the phone system up is that during the school hours, it actually won't ring. We don't even hear it ring. It would take you straight to voicemail, and that's where you would leave a voicemail, and then we'd see the light blinking a little bit later, but we would not know you're calling until after you left your voicemail. So I'd really encourage you to use email. In fact, I think most people are pretty proficient at email at this time, but it's actually kind of something you're going to have to get used to in public schools going forward. That email is how communication is going to be done. So it's just kind of good to get in the habit of checking it. I know I do a lot of messages through there, so that's how you'll hear from me. If you're not feeling too comfortable with email, I'd be happy to help you set up an account. Most email platforms are free, Gmail or Yahoo, something like that. And you could have the app right on your phone to get the notifications. But please check your email and get comfortable with working with that. Another option for communication in K3 this year is Class Dojo, and you will see the logo to the right. And I'm going to speak about Class Dojo in a moment, but it has a messaging feature. So you can message me, message Annie, and because Annie and I both have the Class Dojo app on our phone, it does come up right away. So that's a good way to kind of get our attention if you need something immediately, if you don't want to go through email. And finally, you could always call the school, leave a voicemail, and we can call you back that way. I always say that communication is one of the most important things. So no matter what the concern is, please let me know. Kids might come home, very excited to share something with you, and you might not even understand what they're trying to say. So feel free to reach out, and we could help explain those things. So Class Dojo, as I said, is a communication tool. Annie and I have used Class Dojo for about 4 years, I believe now. And what I really liked about Class Dojo is that I feel even if families are not too comfortable with email, most families nowadays know how to navigate a smartphone, and it's an app on your smartphone. So that's kind of easy to get to and easy to use. So Class Dojo, why? Because a lot of times when you ask young kids about their day, they say they can't remember. So Class Dojo is a way for you to look and see what we've done that day or what we've been working on. Annie and I will update it several times a week. The post might include books we've read, activities we've done, and reminders of events. So please make sure to sign up for the Class Dojo form. I'm going to send that out very soon. The examples on the screen are Class Dojo entries from last year. And Class Dojo, one of the reasons I really liked it too is because rather than putting something on a website, which anyone can see, Class Dojo is a closed platform. So you can't see, this class. You can see my name, Mr. Thoman, K3. You can't see any of these things unless you're invited to the K3 class, which I would invite you to. So it's a really protected platform, which is really great for student privacy. And Annie and I do use it for a lot of things. So as you can see, we had a little park trip last June it was. So that was like a little reminder I put up, the address, what the family should bring. In the middle photo, we had a little field day. So we posted the photos and videos from field day. And I usually do a little write-up too, telling you what's going on. The last photo is a virtual art class the kids were taking last year. And again, just letting you know what they were up to that day. And we could upload photos and videos to that. If you're familiar with Facebook, it might look kind of like that in terms of the wall, and everything is just posted chronologically. So the newest things are always going to be on top. and you can scroll through. You can like something. Um, you can comment on it. Sometimes we ask questions to parents and love to get your input on something. At the bottom, you might see stories, so that's where the updates would go. But then you might also see messages, and messages can be sent directly to Annie or I. And likewise, we can send messages to all of you as well, a whole class message or directed to a particular parent, and that should appear on your phone in your notifications. So, Class Dojo is how we will be communicating this year in a big way. And given the fact that families are not allowed in the building at this time, it's really good to kind of give you guys a glimpse of what's happening and spur some of those conversations. So, look out for the Class Dojo sign up. I'm going to be sending it out very soon. You are probably going to get the invitation through your email or your phone number if it's a text number that you've provided on a smartphone. But the invitation will be coming out. Daily folders, a little bit old school, but we are going to be sending folders home. We ask that you bring your folders back every day, and we're just going to keep them there. Especially during COVID times, we actually haven't gotten a lot of stuff to send home in folders. But if we do, I'd put it in their folder and then into their backpack, and then we ask that you just bring it back. Please empty them; they could get pretty full. If it's been a few weeks and I notice the same stuff is in there, I'll probably empty it for you. So just take it out when you see that stuff. If the folder is lost, we definitely have an extra one, but if you lose it twice, it will be your responsibility to just send another folder in. It doesn't have to be the same one, but just any folder that can hold papers and can go back and forth. As I said, I don't like to give too much on you guys, so if anything's given to me and it's not too time sensitive, then I might wait, a day or two until I get something else and send all the folders together so you can get everything at once rather than it coming multiple times. I try to just send it around once a week. So that is the folder, and it's usually a folder that says King Open, so you'll know. Parent representatives. This is a big part of the King Open community. Every classroom has parent representatives, and parent representatives support the classroom by emailing families, communicating classroom needs, sharing news about important events. And the goal of that is to build community amongst families. And you really don't want to have a handful of emails just from me all year. You might get tired. So it's nice to hear from some others. To give you a little example, last year we celebrated something called Character Day, where we read a bunch of books and then dressed up. And the classroom parent representatives actually reached out to the other families in the classroom, reached out to the other families in the classroom, collected a little bit of a donation from each family, maybe $5 or $6, and kind of bought these things we needed to celebrate Character Day. So we were dressing as a character that's green. So this family, the parent rep, got that money together, got shirts for everyone, that type of thing. It might be play dates. I know that 2 years ago we had a family who kind of organized a local park day, and that was through the parent reps. So it's just a good way to be connected. We'd like to have 2 parent reps this year. If you are interested, let Annie or I know. And we would love to have you, and we'd love to work with you. And we thank you for your interest in being a liaison between us and all the rest of the families in the classroom. Masks, very important. It's a non-negotiable this year. If your child is coming to school, they must have a mask on. They must be able to keep their mask on. We have built-in breaks throughout the day. So when your kid is eating, of course, the mask is off. At snack, during peaceful time, which is the rest time, the mask will be off so they could breathe a little easier. But other than that, masks have to be on. Behaviorally, if we're noticing children are not able to keep it on too, we'll have to come up with a plan because that is the expectation. I will say that I was really nervous last year. Annie and I were in person last year, and we didn't know how young children would do with a mask on all day, but they did really great, really, really great. It's just something they kind of get used to. So please send your child to school wearing a child-sized mask, and send 3 extra masks in a labeled bag. These could just be like a little Ziploc bag. We'll take them out and we'll keep them in the classroom for when your child needs to change masks. As I said, mask breaks are naturally built into the day. Recess, snack, when we're eating, peaceful time. When a child sneezes into their mask or repeatedly coughs into their mask, they will need to be replaced. So we might take one that was kind of sneezed on, put it in a little Ziploc bag for you, and send it home for you to wash it. We also have a huge amount of extra masks for kids. They're the disposable ones, so kind of one mask in a little packet that a child could wear and throw out at the end of the day or come home. So we do have those. I don't want you to worry. Children will have masks on. Annie and I, same thing. Any adult in the building will have a mask on too. And that's a really great safety feature, kind of built in. We're glad to have it. And children did really well with it last year. So I'm expecting this year probably be the same thing, that maybe we'll need to change it, but it's really not too much of an issue to have it on. Our toy policy. So please do not send in your child with any toys. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be having something called a mystery bag activity, where children will be able to bring in a toy and share it with their friends. So we'll begin this in October, and one child a night will get to take the mystery bag home, pick a toy or a book and put it in, and write some clues about what it is with you all. And that's kind of how we'll share a toy. So then the next day the kid would bring it back and we'd read the clues, try to guess what it is, maybe have your child talk a little bit about like what kind of toy it is, how they got it, what are they like doing with it, and then kind of passing it around with their friends. When we're asking you to bring a toy in, please remind your child that they are toys that are meant to be kind of shared. So don't send them in with anything that they don't want to share. Some kids get really protective and they don't want to share it when they bring it in. So try to pick things that your child wouldn't mind, going around in the circle for a few minutes. Other than that, though, please don't bring in any toys. We know that's really tough. Sometimes they just grab them, but just makes things easier to have a policy like this, especially because a lot of kids nowadays have similar toys, and sometimes it's hard to tell who the toy really belongs to. So that is our toy policy. Birthdays. We invite the kids to celebrate their birthdays in school. What we normally do is go around in a circle and say something kind about the child celebrating their birthday. We try to think of more personal things, like I like when you play with me, I like when you helped me clean up, kind of thinking of kind thoughts like that. We'll sing a special birthday song to your child and enjoy a birthday treat. If you'd like to bring in a birthday treat, please make sure that it's store-bought this year. It can't be anything homemade. It has to be kind of something that was made in a store. And again, we don't have any classroom allergies reported yet, so that's makes things a little bit easier too. When your child's birthday is coming up, reach out to me, and because sometimes we might not be in school on the day of the birthday, or you might want to celebrate it at another time. But reach out to me, and we'll figure out which day you want to send a little treat in, and that you would like your child's birthday celebrated. Change of clothes. Please send in your child with an extra set of socks, underwear, shirts, and pants. And we are asking you to label them if you can. You're looking at a picture right now of the cubbies in our classroom. And in every cubby, Annie and I have put a bag. It might be red or blue. I think we have a pink color too on the other side. And what we really do is just put all that extra stuff right into the bag. We'll put the masks in there too. And this way, when your child needs to change, maybe they've spilled milk on themselves at lunch, maybe it got a little wet at recess, maybe they've had a bathroom accident, the clothes will be right in there for your child to grab a new set of. So please remember socks, underwear, shirts, and pants, and masks. Please be mindful on the changing season. So if you want to send in some more sweaters as it gets colder to put in there, feel free. Remember, jackets and gloves and snow clothes are a must, because we will be going outside on snowy days. If your child does have a bathroom accident, we will take the soiled clothes and put it in a large Ziploc bag and put it in the backpack for you to wash. And your child will come home with that extra pair of clothes. If we are noticing your child is running low on some of those extra clothes, we'll send a reminder home asking you to please send in some more. Please send in your child to school with sneakers on physical education PE days and on rainy days, because it could be hard to move if they're wearing rain boots. And PE will be Thursdays and Fridays this year. So please send in your child wearing sneakers for the gym floor on Thursdays and Fridays. So, tentative schedule for the day. What will September learning look like? We know launching the school year is very important. Annie and I take a very slow, very deliberate rollout of how we open the room. So this is our K3 junior kindergarten schedule. And this would be a typical day in September. So you would drop your child off, or they'd come from the bus, and we'd do some hand washing. Everyone has to wash their hands as soon as they're in school. Then breakfast would be provided in the classroom if your child likes. If not, there are books or table activities. So this is not going to be a time where your child's picking what they really want to do or taking a lot of toys out. These are kind of going to be things that we've learned about, how to play and how to use, how to clean up, and those are going to be activities in the morning. We're going to be doing a welcome message, or a morning message, we call it. Your child will be taking a photo of themselves and putting it in a little pocket chart that says, I'm here. So that's kind of their responsibility. And the warm-up activities are the same thing as the table activities. So it might be playing or coloring, something like that. We're going to be doing a morning meeting. It's how we really launch our day together each day. And the morning meeting has a few components to it. We do a greeting. We want every child to feel included, say every child's name. We are going to be looking at our daily schedule. Visuals are really important for children at this age. And so we have a visual schedule. We will read the morning message together, and the morning message is usually interactive. So it will have different components to it. It will always say, Dear K3 friends, then it will be blank is line leader. For example, Annie is line leader. So every day a new child gets that job to be the line leader. And then after that, it usually asks an interactive question. It might be, how old are you? And the children would write down, what number age they are. It might say, which do you like better? Summer or winter, put a sticker or use a stamp. So it has an interactive element to it. And what we usually do is after the children complete it in the morning, when it's time for us to read it during the official morning meeting time, we'll do some counting. We might notice some patterns in the answers, that type of thing. And the final part of morning meeting will be a game. So it's usually a song for us or a group game. And I will send out lyrics to you to help your child master the songs that we do, because we usually hear that the kids like them and then you have no idea what they're saying. So Annie and I will be sending out lyric sheets. What else are we going to be doing in September in the morning? Routines. It's not the most exciting part of school. What usually happens is your children get into the classroom and they are very excited to see, the toys, the things to do. And Annie and I always tell them, we're going to play with them when we learn how to use it. So we kind of bring things out very deliberately. Same thing with exploring materials, whether it be Unifix cubes or colored tiles, blocks, anything like that. We consider it our job to teach kids how to use it. Behavior is taught just like an academic skill is taught. So we'll talk about what might be done with it, how to best care for it, and we're also going to be going over how we expect it to be cleaned up and taken care of. So that will be a typical morning in September, followed by recess. For recess, we're going to be rotating. We have a few little playgrounds within our school outside. So every day it's kind of a different one. And one day a week we have kind of a repeat, and we go to the same one twice. Annie and I, we don't go to the playground right away. What we're going to be doing the first few weeks is we're going to be having recess as a class. We're going to be doing a lot of whole group games. And this is a way to really build community, have some fun. And we're also noticing, too, are children able to freeze when we ask them to freeze? Are they able to line up when we ask them to line up? We're making sure very deliberately that we are building these skills. So when we do allow them to go to the playground, when it's time to go, we don't have children, hiding in the slide saying they don't want to come back. So they kind of understand what's expected. So we will definitely go to the playgrounds, but the first few weeks we are going to be doing some group community building games on the basketball court. We're going to come in after that and have lunch in the classroom. As I mentioned, because it is a COVID year, after the food is handed out to your child, we're going to ask them to be eating it quietly. While they're eating, we might read a book to them. We might watch a little song on our smart board. But unfortunately, it's not going to be a talking time because their masks are off. But we are going to have other times throughout the day where they're talking and playing with their friends. But because everyone will have their mask down, it's going to be a more quiet lunch. I already went over the lunch procedures, but whatever your child ordered in the morning, Annie and I will hand out to them. We're going to stay in the classroom with them the whole time, so we'll be there to open anything and help them clean up and help to teach them how to clean up too. After that, we'll do our calendar and story time. Calendar is a great way to incorporate a lot of math. We also count the days of school. We do the weather. It's a really nice way to transition from lunch. And then finally, we have a story that we read with them. Later in the day, it is peaceful time, which I'll get into in a moment. But peaceful time is around 45 minutes. Also in the afternoon, we will have specials. They could be music, art, library, or PE. The first week, we will not have specials. The second week of school, I'm going to be inviting those specialist teachers into the classroom to get to know the kids, perhaps read a book or play a game, just get them friendly. And that third week of school is when we will start to go to the music room, go to the art room. Annie and I will stay with them for a bit and see how they're getting along, go to the gym. So that's kind of our rollout of the specials. No specials the first week. Second week, we invite them into our classroom. Third week, we start going together as a group. And then finally, in the afternoon, we might have more literacy, math, or story acting activities. We'll have an afternoon snack. We'll have free choice, which is called choice time. And this is kind of really that time when your child gets to pick what they want to do. And we rotate the choices every day. We have different things out that they can pick. Could be something at art center or a dramatic play in the house area. Thank you so much for filling out those student interest surveys, because we're already finding out that kids love to dress up, kids love to build. So we're going to have those things out at choice time, we call it. And then finally, at the end of the day, we'll share. We usually talk about what we really like today, try to keep something fresh in their mind to tell you when they see you, and then we'll say goodbye. So that will be a tentative schedule for September. I'm going to encourage you every day to check out Class Dojo, because I'm sure Annie and I will be posting what we're doing along the way, and you can get a glimpse at what we're doing. On the first day of school, there are a few things you need to bring. A backpack. I wrote it in the introduction letter, but we actually asked for kind of a more regular size backpack just so we can fit in any art activities, extra clothes, folders. Sometimes those little cutesy backpacks don't hold everything, so a little bit bigger backpack that could hold things would be great. We're asking you to bring in 3 extra masks. Remember, these are going to stay in your child's extra clothes bag, and I will let you know if we're running low on them. Again, we have a lot of disposable child masks too if your child needs one. On the first day of school and every day of school, we need you to bring in 2 snacks for your child. 2 snacks. We're going to have a morning snack and an afternoon one. We're also asking you to bring in a small blanket and a stuffed animal for peaceful time. You might notice in the picture on the right that there are kind of 3 parts to the cubby. The top one, the middle part with the colored bags, and then the bottom. The bottom is where your child will put their stuffed animal if they brought one, and a tiny blanket. And it has to fit in there. So unfortunately, like sleeping bags, things like that wouldn't fit, but a little tiny blanket or something airplane size usually works really great. And of course, have your child bring in whatever stuffed animal they like. On the first day of school, bring in a home lunch if that's the plan for the day. If not, your child will get the school lunch. On the first day of school, bring in a change of clothes labeled. As I mentioned, shirts, underwear, socks, pants, and we will keep them in those colored bags for you. Bring in a water bottle, and we'll send that water bottle home every day too. We do have a water fountain in the classroom, but last year we found that kids really enjoyed having their own water bottle. On the first day of school, Annie and I are asking that you bring in a picture of your family. Feel free to email it to me and I will print it out, but we are going to be making a family tree. The kids absolutely love to see your faces in the classroom, as do we. So we want to start building that right away. So please remember a picture of your family. If you don't have one physically, send one to me and I'll print it out. And on the first day of school, just check the weather. It could be cool in September. It's an odd month, so you might want to bring a sweater for your child. But those are the things you must have on the first day: the backpack, the 3 extra masks, 2 snacks daily, a small blanket and stuffed animal. And we usually keep those for a few weeks in the classroom before we send them home to be washed. So we're not going to have your child bring home a blanket and stuffed animal every day. A lunch, the change of clothes that will stay, a water bottle that we'll send home each day, a picture of your family, and a sweater depending on the weather. Peaceful time is another component of our day. So 45 minutes of rest time is built in halfway through our day. As I said, please send in your child with a small blanket and stuffed animal that can fit inside their backpacks and into that little cubby. These are some pictures I took. So the one on the left is a mat that we will be using. Then it's the cubby, and the photo on the right is an example of kind of an appropriately sized blanket and stuffed animal. So peaceful time is a time for children to rest and reset their minds before afternoon learning. Children do not have to sleep at peaceful time, but the expectation is that they remain quiet and on their mat. We usually play music or stories or podcasts during this time, so if your child is not a sleeper, they have something to listen to. But we are expecting them to rest on their mat quietly and respect their other children in the classroom that may be sleeping. Nurse and COVID information. This is a really big one this year. So if you have any questions, it can get confusing, reach out to me right away. But let's go through this. First of all, if you need to contact our school nurse, please email Ruth. Her name is Ruth. And her email address is rjolicoeur, JOLICOEUR @cpsd.us. And that email address is right up there, so you can just click on it if you need to email her. In the classroom, we're going to deal with minor cuts and injuries. Kids sometimes get bumped. Sometimes a little Band-Aid actually completely turns their day around. We'll deal with all that. But any other injury will be treated by Nurse Ruth. She will also contact you should it be a concerning injury. An example of this is if a child's playing on the playground, maybe they bump their head. Any kind of head bump, we like the nurse just to look at just in case. And she usually will give you a call after checking it out just to let you know, oh, so-and-so bumped their head. I checked it out, they're okay, or they have a little bump, just so you know what happened too. If your child needs to take any medication during the school day, the law requires that it be administered by the nurse, so please send it in and we'll pass it along to her. Now, some more COVID-specific things. Weekly COVID pool testing will be done. Please make sure you submit that form. It's the COVID testing consent form. This is our second year doing it, so I'm just going to walk you through that process. Once a week, Annie and I will walk the children down to the nurse's office, and they are given a COVID test. It is a COVID test through the nose, but it's one of the newer ones, so it's just kind of the tip of their nose. It's almost like a Q-tip, but it doesn't go that far up. It's just at the very base of their nose. So they do that for every child. And pool testing means that all the samples are going to be put into one test tube and then run through the machine. Broad Institute does our testing. So it's run through the machine, and most of the time, of course, it will come back negative, and we know everyone does not have COVID. Because it's pool testing, though, it may come back positive, which means someone in that pool has COVID, and the school would contact you to find out kind of which child it is. So pool testing is quicker, it's cheaper, but it does mean if there is a positive result that we need to follow up with each child individually to figure out which one has COVID. The adults in the building are also tested weekly. It's not an option for adults. Every adult will be tested. If your child is sick, please keep them home. I know it can get confusing, difference between a cold, a flu, a childhood illness, and COVID, but any symptom like that, you have to keep them home. Should a student test positive for COVID-19, we're trying not to close down the classroom, but instead we'll be asking that child who tested positive to quarantine for at least 10 days. So if your child has COVID, they will be out for at least 10 days and cannot return until after 10 days and when they're showing no symptoms. We have a policy that's going to be launched. That means if your child has COVID, the immediate contacts, maybe the child he played with for a little bit, everyone else will be tested for 5 days following, just to make sure everyone stays negative. But we're very serious about it. If a child has any symptoms, we'll call you to come get them. They really have to stay home when they're exhibiting symptoms. If your child has a fever, he or she is considered contagious and not well enough to be sent into school, and they have to be kept home. If a fever develops while your child is at school, you will be called to bring him or her home. If your child is going to be absent, feel free to email me or Annie, or you can call Brenda. She is the office receptionist, to let us know. The number for the office is listed there at 617-349-6540. As I said, COVID can get really confusing and murky, so if you do have any questions, reach out to me right away. And if I don't have the answer, I will connect you with Nurse Ruth, who will. So this is a time for questions. As I mentioned, if you're watching this video, it means that you were not able to come to the orientation on Thursday morning, or maybe you wanted to watch it again. So if you do have questions, just email me and I will get back to you. Finally, a wish list. These are things our classroom would love to have. Again, this is completely optional. We're not expecting anyone to provide any of these things, but oftentimes parents want to know, is there anything I can get the classroom? So our classroom could really use extra snacks for children who may forget theirs. It's very common for families to sometimes send their child off and forget to pack a snack or two. Having extra snacks in the room, individually wrapped, is perfect for us. We really utilized this a lot last year. We could also use some Band-Aids if you want to send in Band-Aids, 2 plants to help decorate our science area in, 2 boxes of expo markers, 6 Clorox wipes. Stickers are always good to have, and disposable baby wipes for some children that may need that in the bathroom. Again, this is completely optional out of your generosity. We're not expecting anything. But if you are wondering how you can contribute, feel free to email me or Annie and say, hey, I could provide those snacks, and you can send them in have them the next day. Finally, save the date. We have our back to school night already planned, and it will be on Thursday, October 7th from 5:30 to 7 o'clock on Zoom. And that's really where we will talk more about the curriculum, the math, the literacy, writing, that type of thing. Back to school night, Thursday, October 7th. It's also a great opportunity to learn about art, music, PE. The specialist will be presenting that night as well. So please save that date. So thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the video. This is on YouTube now, so feel free to rewind it or skip it or whatever part you need to get to in this video. I know it's a bit lengthy, but if you have any questions that I wasn't able to answer, please email me or Annie, and we will get right back to you. We are so excited to welcome you to King Open. It's an honor to be your child's teacher this year. We want to kick the year off right, so please make sure your child has all those things that they need on the first day of school. You can revisit that slide. Also be on the lookout for Class Dojo permission forms. That's how we will be communicating. That is the app I showed you that has the updates throughout our day on it. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, a great weekend, and we will see your child on the first day of school, Monday. Thank you.